But Tower Bridge, it's the gateway to the City of London, completed in 1894. On its opening ceremony, this bridge actually failed to operate. A sailing vessel hit the bridge. Since that day, it has been registered with Lloyd's of London. Registered with that company, it comes with the compliments of a captain, an engineer and first officer. The two centre bascles of the bridge, they weigh over 1,000 tonnes each. It is actually an iron-built bridge, but it's been clad in stonework to blend in with the Tower of London in front of the boat. Now, they actually shut Tower Bridge for one day of the year. Does anyone know what that day is? Anyone? No? Marathon. Know Marathon? I might have done. But Marathon, London Marathon Day. It's the only day they shut that bridge completely. You can imagine all the runners having a big old jump in the middle, couldn't you? But we'll go to the right. You've got the Tower of London. Construction started here in 1078 by William the Conqueror. That was on the centre keep. Then part in the middle with the 4 turrets. All the other structures around it was added by various reigning monarchs throughout the years. In its time, the tower's been a palace, a fortress, a prison, a mint, a menagerie. It's now more famous for housing the crown jewels. On the river wall to our right, the bricked up entry to the Traitor's Gate. If you was tried and condemned in the Palace of Westminster, you'd be rowed down river, taken through that archway where you'd await execution for either Tower Hill or Tower Green. The most famous person to go through that archway was a man by the name of William Wallace. And if you don't know who that is, that's Mel Gibson from Braveheart, alright? We'll stay to the right, we'll do the skyline now. If you see the spherical building behind the red cranes, now originally I thought that one was the headquarters for Anne Summers. It's actually known as the Gherkin, alright? The pointy one, that's the scalpel. The one with the diamond frontage, the lattice, that's the cheese grater. The big one behind that, 22 Leadenhall Street. And then the one that looks like a beer pump, that's the walkie-talkie.
Right.
Now our next point of interest, ladies and gents, you may or may not see it because it's painted in camouflage, but coming up on the left, there's a large warship. It's called the Belfast, the HMS Belfast. Last sea action in the Korean campaign. Its main armament, ladies and gents, it's got 6 guns on aft, 6 guns on forward, capable of firing a 100-weight shell up to the distance of 14 land miles. It's permanently moored here as a museum to British naval sea power. It's got over 5 decks to explore. Recently had a restoration as well. They've given it a touch of paint and done some things on the inside as well. Well worth the visit if you have the time. The boat alongside it, the Pelican. Now this is a sail training vessel. It's got a crew of 12. It's about 35 metres long, and I believe it was launched in 1948. They can train up to 30 people at once. I did have a few more facts and details about it, but it's literally only been here a day and I've got a memory like a fish, so that'll do for that one. To the right hand side, behind the trees, the grey building with the clock face and 6 black chimneys on top of it. This is Waterguard House, home of Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, or Customs and Excise. Any illegal contraband seized at the border being smuggled into this country, it does find its way to the basement of that building where it's supposed to be incinerated. Now, I've worked on this river over 7 years. I've never seen a puff of smoke come out of them chimneys once. I also had some fantastic Christmas parties in there that last up to about 2 weeks. Apparently they're absolutely legendary. If you ever get the opportunity to go. To our left hand side, the Shard of Glass, Europe's tallest building, stands over 1,000 feet tall. Consists of offices, apartments, restaurants, a 5-star Shangri-La hotel, swimming pool and observation platform. Now the area the Shard's built on, all this area to our left, is known as London Bridge City. It's like a self-contained city within the city of London. They've got their own bars, restaurants, hotels, shopping centres, shops. It's got its own pier, they've even got their own hospital, ladies and gents, the London Bridge Hospital. Now that hospital is world famous. It's world famous for two things. The first one being sprained ankles, the second one being heart attacks. You go in there with a sprained ankle, you get the bill, and then drop down dead with an heart attack. Even more expensive for a riverside view. To our right, that blue building with the windows, the architects of that one was actually two out-of-work Italian window cleaners by the name of Luigi the Squeegee and Sammy the Chamois. It wasn't really. Channel 5, Health Lottery. I haven't had a walk past there in a while. I'm not sure who else operates out of there. But staying to the right hand side, between the buildings, you're going to see Sir Christopher Wren's monument to the Great Fire of London. It represents a wax candle. Just come into view. It stands 202 feet tall. If you was to lay that down 202 feet in the direction behind us, it would reach a little baker's shop in Pudding Lane, where the Great Fire of London started. We've got the world famous London Bridge here, ladies and gents. There's been a London Bridge on this site since the Roman era. This is the 5th London Bridge to span the river at this point. The previous one was sold to an American company. It now stands over Lake Havasu on the edge of the Arizona deserts. Now the bridge in front of us, we have the Cannon Street Railway Bridge. To the right hand side of the bridge, you'll notice the very carefully blended in modern office complex between the two Victorian towers. But this bridge used to have a lovely glass roof. They moved it in the Second World War for fear of it being bombed. They moved it to a super secure secret location in Kent. During the war, the bridge never took a direct hit, but that super secure secret location in Kent did. Bye-bye roof. Just beneath the bridge on our right hand side though, you've got that green door, ladies and gents. You've got the windows just past it. Now this is a luxury 5-star spa. Luxury 5-star spa. What the architects failed to incorporate was, every 5 minutes you've got a boat like this going past, someone like me pointing it out. Some days the views are better than others. Some days we actually turn the boat around, we go and have another look. Some days I wish I never pointed that out, believe me. Maybe today. Yeah. But we've got the Cannon Street Railway Bridge. Have a look at the bottom of the supports either side, ladies and gents. The tide's coming in. We have a strong tide in this river. You can't swim in this river due to the tide. If you ever wondered about how London gets rid of its household rubbish, I'll show you how. All these containers on our right, they're all compacted with household rubbish. One tug can take 3 of those barges. And then we ship all that rubbish down to a place called Essex. I don't know if you've heard of it. That's where we send all our rubbish. And then they reward us with the worst television you've ever seen in your life. Don't want no Towie defenders on this boat. It's the worst programme in the world. We've got this Southwark Road Bridge here, ladies and gents. It's not really used, this bridge. A lot of the approach roads are really hidden in the back streets of London, so not many Londoners actually know this bridge exists. You rarely see anyone on the bridge. But to our right hand side, we've got a grey building with 4 stone columns. This is Vinters Place, home of the Vinters Company. In that building, they have one of the most undesirable jobs in all of the world. And that is testing all of the wines and spirits that go on sale in restaurants in this country. It's a really undesirable job. I don't know if you want to work there. I heard there's a 10-year waiting list to get your CV looked at, so get them in fast, ladies and gents. To the left, you've got a small circular white building with timber frames and a thatched roof. It's a replica of Shakespeare's Globe and Playhouse Theatre. It's the only building in London to have a thatched roof since the Great Fire, and you can see all Shakespearean plays acted out in period dress throughout the summer months of the year. You'll see some people just entering there at the moment. They've got a play in there. They've got a red flag flying. That means there's a tragedy. There is a colour-coded system, but I've forgotten at the minute. But I know a red flag does mean there's a tragedy. Now, the next bridge we have the Millennium Footbridge. This bridge is more commonly known as the Wibbly Wobbly. On its opening ceremony, it rocked and swayed so violently, people fell over, people were sick on the people that fell over. It shut down to add some stabilisation. Oh, but do you be any louder up there? I'm trying to talk. To the right hand side, ladies and gents, you've got St Paul's Cathedral. It's Sir Christopher Wren's masterpiece. It was completed in 1710. It took 35 years to rebuild. It's the second largest unsupported cathedral dome in the world, only second to St Peter's in the Vatican City. It stands 465 foot tall, roughly translated for 1 foot for every day of the year. To our right, you've got the City of London School. That's the new City of London School. Famous people have been educated there. Most recently, Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter. That's where he went to school in the City of London School over there, ladies and gents. Now the next bridge is the Blackfriars Railway Bridge. We've got 3 bridges here. The first one's the railway bridge. You can just see a train in the station there, ladies and gents. It is a railway station right the way across this bridge. All those slightly panels on top, they are solar panels. The bridge generates over 50% of its own electricity. You can access the station from both sides, and it was done for the cost of about £500 million. But there's 3 bridges here, ladies and gents. Nowhere on this river will you find 3 bridges this close together. They quite often get referred to as the Tunnel of Love.